Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Creator Spotlight. I have some pretty phenomenal guests with me today who are also used to being in the hot seat hosting shows and having chats and doing the things. So, before we get started, I thought let's just have each of you introduce yourselves. Sam, do you want to go first?
Sure. Hi, I'm ClassicSamNYGM. I am I guess, a content creator sometimes, but I'm also a talk show host here on Twitch and YouTube and a bunch of other stuff. Specifically, I can say the word today. Specifically highlighting people in the TTRPG space, Dungeons and Dragons, all the lovely tabletop stuff. All my dice makers and actors and producers. Because everyone needs the love, and we are here for world domination. But that's
I love it. Kayla?
And that's me. Hi, I'm Kayla. I use she, her pronouns. I am one half of the Potions and Potpourri podcast. We are like a casual chat show podcast. We have all sorts of formats on our show. One of them is interviews, of which I've had the pleasure of having Sam on for. It's been awesome. And you can usually find me just around the space playing in other people's games and doing all kinds of stuff in the TTRPG community. And I'm really happy to be here. So thanks, Shannon.
Absolutely, yeah. We were talking a little bit before stream just about the chaos of the TTRPG space in
oh my
general.
god.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of want to talk a little bit as we start. I think just about we've just because we've switched over from last year into this year, that kind of thing. So as you go into this year, what are you looking at to do differently than you did last year? Like, did you do your end of year
Mm.
evaluation and you were like, crap, I didn't leave enough time for this, or I wanted to write this, or whatever. Like, what kind of energy did you come into this year with? Where you're sitting?
Um, so last year I kind of was like shooting from the hip. The whole point was me shooting from the hip. I There was really no real big plan for me, and then I was like, I'll go to a bunch of cons, I'll do a bunch of interviews. I'm just gonna see how much I can do in 2024. That was dumb. Um, I did. I that was not the smartest move because I did 8 conventions in 2024.
Whoo,
Um, yeah,
I'm tired for
one of
you.
which where
That's crazy, girl.
one of which where I traveled to Australia. Yay!
Okay,
So that
no,
was a
that's
blast.
amazing.
Yeah, yeah, it was a blast. I had such a good time. I'm not gonna lie, it was one of the highlights of my year, and believe a turning point in this content creation thing that I'm doing, and I do not regret going one bit. I'm going back next to 20 in this year, so
Oh,
super happy
amazing.
about it. Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. And the other thing is like now we're gonna do this in a more methodical way. It's gonna be much more methodical. We're not gonna go like willy nilly. We're gonna try and make it a little bit more, streamlined. And we have some new shows. I say we, I mean the people in my head. We have some new
You
shows
do that
coming up.
too?
I do it all
I
the
love it.
time, all the
I love it.
time.
Way to call yourself out.
It's all the time. They're like, "Who's we? Who's your team?" I'm like, "They're up
Amazing.
there." I talk to them all day long, and they yell at me
Yes.
for not getting my shit together. Um, but yeah, so we have some new shows coming up, big projects happening, and I'm excited for them. So yeah.
Incredible. Kayla, what about you?
Yeah, boy, I don't really
I know
like
you
to
didn't go
think
to
about.
Australia, so that's
No,
tough to follow,
I
but
don't really like to think about future things. I actually think the turning point for me was this summer with our trans empowerment project fundraiser,
Mm,
and that kind of opened the door to using TTRPG space for fundraising in general.
yeah.
yeah.
I don't really know the future of our podcast. It's just always been kind of up in the air, anyways. But I'm trying to like keep the space that we have made through the podcast and continue to like open more doors for other people and with other people to do new projects. And like, I want to be on more people's games and on more people's shows and just kind of be out there more, doing more events. Not necessarily cons because we live pretty far from most of the cons and can't
Yeah.
afford to travel, but online, and being
Yeah.
able to be a part of the trans empowerment national volunteer team, I'm really looking forward to just doing more volunteer work and just kind of like using this space that we've created to continue to get into that kind of stuff throughout the year.
I loved that you kind of started this with like you don't like to think about the future because that's like you are like in the now. You're just like what am what am I doing now?
I have to be. It has to be day to day, otherwise it's like you can sometimes just get so worked up or excited about thinking about plans and stuff, and then if you don't
Yeah,
have
yeah,
a real
yeah.
way to follow through, then you get disappointed, so it's like let's just kind of see what happens. And our show's always been
Yeah.
loosey goosey. We've never really had like a plan, like this is how we're gonna make this a business and get all these steps to get a Patreon and get more fans and get like what's the word? Not a contract. Sponsored.
Sponsorship.
Sponsor.
Oh, the
Yeah, yeah,
sponsorship
yeah.
So
thing.
like we're not doing any of that,
So
So I've never really
intimidating.
needed to plan. I'm just kind of like seeing what feels good and trying to like, be in the best space possible.
I love that. Go towards the joy. And on that note too, everybody hydrate. We gotta hydrate here from
Okay.
Hampod in
Oh,
the
I
chat.
forgot
So
to get water.
thank you very
Oh
much.
well. I can't hydrate.
You can pretend hydrate
and
then.
I can pretend hydrate. There's water somewhere.
Thank
Maybe if we get a
you.
break, I'll go pop
Thanks,
a little
Rain.
water. All right.
Yes, thank you, Rain. Let's talk about the fundraiser stuff a little bit. Speaking of Rain in here, the two of you did a phenomenal job with the fundraiser over the summer. And you've also got a bunch of stuff going on that you're kind of contributing to. And so why don't we jump into that a little bit and tell everybody kind of what you got going on?
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I think just a good starting point is, I met both of you through our Pride Revolution fundraiser this summer for Trans
Yeah.
Empowerment Project. How all that started was both Rain and I were following Trans Empowerment Project just individually through our own social media accounts. And they had put out this call to action sometime in like early May where they were like, we are desperate for funds. Our major donor has pulled out. Just all of these things have happened and like compiled on top of us to not really allow us to get funds anymore. And Rain and I are part of the Even Footing Games like group and do work for them sometimes. And so we're in their Discord server and have already been kind of throwing around the idea of doing a Pride fundraiser. And it was actually Rain that got to it first, but they were like, we should
Surprise.
yeah. They were like, hey, we should fundraise for Trans Empowerment Project. Like, we saw this post. And then, like, I came in, like, a day later not seeing any of those messages. Like, hey, we should fundraise for Trans Empowerment Project for Pride Revolution.
And they were like, great idea.
And, yeah, they were like, oh, we're already working on it. So I had to catch up a little bit. And we just kind of hit the ground running. But it was a learning experience for sure in many ways. But we had never done a fundraiser before. We were both just kind of going off what we knew from being behind the scenes and other fundraisers. Like Rain participated in the Run DMG Doctors Without Borders fundraiser before that last year, and so kind of had some of that knowledge going into it. And it was just a learning process. Did not go very smoothly and in the beginning, but we got there eventually. I think we raised something like $4,000 for
Oh wow.
TEP
Wow.
6 weeks.
Yeah.
We had a lot of people involved, a lot of kind of things moving around behind the scenes. But what came out of that is us meeting Jack and Heather. Jack is the founder of Trans Empowerment Project and his partner Heather, who does a ton of work as well. And we came out of that good friends with them and having learned a lot from them about the fundraising side of things and working for an organization like that. And we were both able to sign on as national volunteers. And so we've kind of kept keeping that ball rolling, so to speak, and trying to like keep helping them like work on some of their projects and stuff behind the scenes. So it's been really great.
Yeah. He just chimed in. They just chimed in and said 4K, just short of 4K. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I was like, I couldn't quite remember. I knew that they would probably remember, but we got to.
Yeah. I it's a lot to run a fundraiser. I ran one.
I do
as
not
well.
envy anyone doing that. I don't know how you guys. I will participate. I will lend my voice and my hand, but I am not.
Yeah.
It takes
Yeah.
so much, I think, just to run a regular stream and to do a fundraiser on top of it.
Yes.
I think is a phenomenal effort, and it's just so massive to do. I recently was on Split the Party TV's at Briefcase Brown's channel where he was raising money for for cancer, and he ended up raising I believe 19, I think it was $18,000 or something like that. He
Wow.
raised a
Incredible.
lot of money.
Incredible.
But I and just amazing at what he does, and I just don't know how. Like I just
Well,
don't
it's no
know
Yeah.
how.
job.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
a
even
lot.
just talking to Jack and Heather behind the scenes and other people that have like a major role in Transpower Project. I mean, it's a full time job.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a lot,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was an experience. I don't think I'd ever want to run one again, but I've been really happy to just kind of show up where I can and donate time and energy
mm,
and
Yeah.
resources to people that are raising money for good causes and doing it all through the TTRPG space.
Yeah. And that's so important. Like, just being that person who comes in and helps when they can. Like, it doesn't
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
matter what amount you're doing. If you're sharing a bit of your time and your heart to go towards something that's making the world a little bit better, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's incredible. And I think this space in general, at least I've found, it's such a giving space. Like everybody is so supportive
it
of each
Yeah,
really is.
it
other.
Yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah, yeah. 100%.
Yeah, I love it. Like, and what you guys are doing too. Like, I mean, Sam, you host a show and do spotlights on people and all that kind of stuff. Like, that is so important to as a community base. Just to, and I'm
Yeah,
sure you're a little bit like me. You just like having those conversations, but like it's important. To
it's funny because I started doing it. I started doing it specifically because I got started getting annoyed. Like I would talk to people. Like I get irritated when people don't understand.
Sorry.
Like they don't get my references. So I would reference someone in the Twitch space, in the TTRPG space. I'm like, who the hell are you talking about? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean you don't know who that is? Like, it would drive me bonkers. So I was like, well, why is no one speaking? Like
yeah,
so it started off as me being irritated that people not getting my references, and then it
I
turned
love that.
into, well, I'll just do a talk show and like highlight all these wonderful creators, and then I realized that the TTRPG space is filled with actors and like writers and producers, and it just blossomed into this huge like undertaking, and now I'm like, oh, okay. This is
Yeah.
I look, I enjoy it. I love doing it. It's something I really, really like, so glad I got into. Um, but yeah, it was totally because I was annoyed. Like, how
Yeah.
can you just people need to get my references. It's like when people it was like with a movie. Like no
They
one
weren't
knows
asking the questions that you wanted people to ask.
exactly. That was the other
Yeah.
thing. I would sit in
Mm-hmm.
someone else's watch someone else's show. I'm like, and I would type a question, and they wouldn't. There's millions of people asking questions, so they wouldn't get to it. I'm like, you didn't ask. That's a good question. Like, why don't you want to know this? Yeah,
So I'll just ask it myself.
that's it.
Yeah.
I just do it
Exactly.
myself.
Yeah.
Same reason I got into D&D. I just do it myself because you guys suck. Like,
Just do it out of spite. I love that.
that's literally what it was. Like, it was those guys sucked. Like and I don't care if they hear me or see me. They sucked. The DM sucked. The players sucked. They were misogynistic
Mm-hmm.
pigs. They sucked.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Yeah. They can stay over there. We don't want
yeah,
anything to do with that.
I was
Yeah.
like, I have to do better. It was fun.
Yeah. Well, and like there's such a need in the space in
Yeah,
general
yeah,
for
yeah.
for
Mm-hmm.
those conversations too. Yeah. And highlighting absolutely. So let's talk about games. So D&D you mentioned. What else are you
Mhm.
playing? There's so many indie
Oh my
developers out
god.
there right now that are just putting like my want to do in 2025 list is just stupid. There's just so much stuff on it.
It's so much. There's so much. I uh I've been following a few creators that I have interviewed. So Andrew Bowman, Ryan
Mhm.
Lynch, who's going to be on the show soon. They've developed some games. There's a bunch of people who've developed some stuff that I want to highlight. But my favorite right now is Pearls and Princesses, which is right there above my head, right there. um, I that game is so fun. I love running it. I'm trying to get him to run the game with me on my channel, but we're gonna have an
Fun.
interview with Ryan soon. But
Nice.
that game is so fun. Like, I highly recommend if you want a game that is like, it's not a D20 system, so There's not a lot of like perception, but it's
Mm-hmm.
so much fun just to run and play. And I, especially if you want like a little, like something for little girls to be like, oh my god, oh my god, totally do it.
Yeah, we need more for the little girls to get into it for sure.
Yeah.
I just backed Sweet Revenge, which is their second
Mm.
Pearls and Princess. Uh, I don't know if
Oh,
it's a
cool.
continuation of it. I've not played
Yeah.
Pearls and Princess. It was on my list for last year, and I
Mm-hmm.
failed at playing it. I played a ton of other things, but I didn't get that one on my list. So that's definitely on my list for this year. So I don't know if Sam wants to run one, but yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'm trying to get Ryan to run it on my channel.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, so we're gonna figure out after the interview when he's gonna run it. So if he decides that, okay, I'll run it for you. I need
Hell yeah.
players.
Hell yeah. Right?
That'd be
Yeah, bring
sick.
it.
I know I've heard it's really fun.
It's so
I
much
do want to
fun.
check it out. There's a lot of just indie TTRPGs I want to play. Um,
Yeah.
I play D&D like every week basically. I've got a home game that I
So
always play,
jealous.
and right now one of my home games fell through, so we're doing this thing that I've done in the past where we kind of roll a story on a chart. We do
Mhm,
like setting, plot, and character type that are all randomized, and then somebody DMs. It's like a short session, like a couple of weeks at a time. And
mhm.
we kind
Mm-hmm.
of threw in there all of these different TTRPGs that we could also play in as well instead of D&D. So I'm hoping to get to learn some new ones. I still haven't learned Pathfinder, so that's my goal this year. I think is to finally learn to play Pathfinder.
Not
It seems
Pathfinder.
like it'd be
I
fun.
refuse. I refuse to
Yeah.
be crunchy. Like I refuse to be
It's I
crunchy.
think the character optimization is what's going to win me over. But I also love Aliens, so anytime I get a chance
Mm,
to play in Alien games, I will. And a game that really surprised me last year was Vaesen.
mm,
That was really cool, Nordic horror inspired.
Mm.
Pretty simple like dice system. That was really cool to learn. This year I'm kind of just down to learn most new systems. You know, I've only
yeah.
played
Yeah.
Thirsty Sword Lesbians and the Powered by Apocalypse system, so I'd like to try some other ones. And yeah, just like any of the indie games that people want to run. Looking forward to just kind of new games in general.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
sounds
There's so
like
much
fun.
out there. You
There is.
mentioned Andrew Bowman. Did they do Battle School? Is
Uh,
that Andrew?
there, Andrew Bowman is Oh my god, my brain's gonna stop working right
I'm
this
sorry, I
instant.
put
As
you on the spot.
soon
That was a terrible
as
question for me to
like
ask.
this second you say, "Who's that?" My brain goes, "I don't know,
I
actually,
know. I'm
I've
so
never heard
sorry.
that name in my life,
who are you
actually.
talking about? I don't know that even what
Yeah,
is
it's
that
fine.
even thing?" That my brain just stopped working.
Yeah, yeah. I know. It was
Oh,
terrible. I
that's
put you on
not
the spot.
good. You know what's bad because Andrew is such a cool person, and when I went to Gen Con last year, they were they were the one that like one of the people were like, come over here, go meet this person. They were such a good person to be hanging around with, just because
Aw.
they wanted me to know everyone and get to know people in the space, and it was so much fun, and I loved hanging out with it. And right now, it's bugging the crap out of me that I don't remember where the hell, what the
I'm
hell.
so sorry.
Oh, that's so bad. Kill me. Uh,
It's
uh,
it's all good.
it's
Well,
it,
it'll
it
come
kind
to
of
you
like
when you're not thinking of it. And I know you're gonna
it'll
look it
come
up,
to me
but
like in the middle of someone else's sentence. I'm like da da da
yeah. Or
with
like
no
me when
context.
you're in the shower. That's when all the
Yeah,
ideas come. When you're
and
in
it'll
the
be with no
shower.
context whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but here's the thing though, is like I understand not remembering the name. First of all, I don't remember the names of things that I've known forever, but like they not
One
remembering the
shots tavern.
names. Oh, okay. All right. So that's
Yeah,
what it is. All right.
Oh,
my brain was
okay.
just like, what the hell? One shots tavern.
Yes.
Now I have to look up Battle School because I
Mutuals.
actually
Or
have
Yeah,
mutuals.
that.
yeah.
The show.
But yeah, I One Shot Tavern. Okay, that's very cool. I just bought
Mm-hmm.
One Shot Wonders also at PAX Unplugged. I grabbed that because there's
Mhm.
1,000 things that I'm jumping into
I am
GMing this year. I've only run like
so
3.
irritated about PAX Unplugged. Right, I loved it. I love
Uh
going,
oh.
but there's so many people are like, I was at PAX Unplugged. What do you mean you're at PAX Unplugged? I was at PAX Unplugged. Why didn't I see you at PAX
Yeah,
Unplugged?
it's so big there.
It's so
There's like so much
He
going
did
on.
do Battle School. I just looked it
yeah,
up. He did do Battle School, so he did something else as well. Okay, cool.
awesome.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I was
it's so
like,
yeah, PAX. so irritating. I was like, because like I was at PAX Unplugged. Like, what? I was at PAX Unplugged. What do you mean? I don't understand. So yeah, I was super irritated. There's so many people I didn't get to see, but it's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
You know,
Yeah.
impossible.
it's almost it's too much impossible.
It was my first time going, and it was like crazy awesome, and also like so overwhelming because
Hmm.
there's just so much, and like so much happening, so many people that you want to see, and then like also I in general am like super weird and awkward when I'm meeting people like that, I think too. So it was like this nonstop barrage of being super weird and awkward. So it's like
Oh
like
no.
I love it.
I need
Oh
a break from
yeah.
myself,
I
you know,
understand that
like
so much.
Oh my god, I went through that when last year when I went to Gen Con. Where so I had gone to cons before. Gen Con was the first time I went as a creator, and like I was telling someone else like the imposter syndrome like was
yeah.
impostering that when I went there, and it was there that there was the beginning of the turning point, which culminated in Australia. But when I went to Gen Con, it was more along the line. It was more like the same way. I was like, hi, my name
Yeah.
is Classic. Okay, bye.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I actually brought like visual aids because I was like, I'm going to be weird and not know how to talk to people. So like I
Hmm.
brought these little squishies that were they were in a, I don't know if you,
Oh,
let's see, you can see them in the little
Oh, cute.
wrapper. They were in a little wrapper, and
Yeah.
you got a different one or whatever. And so,
mm-hmm.
and they glow in the dark. So I was like, okay, they're spotlights. They're in the spotlight, right? You know. So I was like, okay, that's
Oh,
clever.
Cute.
I'll bring
That's
that or
cute.
whatever. So I was handing out squishies to everybody at PAX,
that's
but it was
awesome.
like I just need, you know, I thought it was cute, but also like I just needed like some way to like, hey, let's have a conversation, and me not be
Right.
just a
Hmm.
total fool
Hmm.
as we go.
Yeah,
Um,
that makes sense.
yeah. The whole idea of like this massive community online with all of these incredible creative people just like fires me up in general. So I think
Yeah.
that like that's part of it too, you know, is like it's kind of like the little kid where you're like, "Will you be my friend?" You know, like
Yeah.
it's like
Hmm.
all of these cool people in this one space doing all these cool things, and
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, and which is why the shows, you know, why the conversations happen, so we can have those. Um, what is the wildest thing that has happened recently in game? Either that you did or somebody else did. What's the wildest thing?
I'm gonna let Kayla go first.
Uh
in
oh.
in my home game, that my friend runs, my friend has been a DM off and on for a long time, basically since I've always played D&D, so like 7 years. And he like recently, like within the last 2 years, was like, my Dungeons and Dragons games have not had enough dragons in them. So he
mm,
leaned really heavily into the dragon lore and got like Fizzbins and started running stuff out of that, and like homebrewed a bunch of lore that was dragon related. And one of the things in uh that game that he created is that a lot of people can become half dragons and get like blessed by the dragons and get like half dragon powers and get like breath weapons and stuff, um and kind of like anthropomorphize into like dragon people.
mm-hmm.
So my partner is playing in that game, and he's kind of just like this, I don't know, like basic white guy, right? Like just
Right.
typical straight white guy.
I love it when it's
And
Why?
Mr. Michael.
Why are you that in Dungeons and Dragons? I just will never understand the
right.
people that choose
So
that.
he's playing a fighter, right? And he's just a strong guy, and that's just what he is.
Yeah.
And he got blessed and got to turn into this like special amethyst dragon, who which hasn't existed in 1,000 years. And we
Ooh.
as players got to like each put a detail of his new dragon features on, so we each got to like say what he looked like. So he went from just being like this regular guy to this like absolutely jacked, incredible looking purple like dragon person, and he wears a like mesh crop top vest
Oh my
and
god, that's awesome.
like flowing
Wild.
pantaloons that like have huge slits up them, and he is just like absolutely gorgeous. He's like this totally like gay club
Oh
scene
my god,
kid, and
I
it's
love it.
so great. Every time he's like being this character now, it's like such a big transition, and we have just loved it so much. It's like tickled us so heavily throughout this game. So that's been so fun to just watch develop. That's like a whole 180 in a character.
Heck
Oh, that's
yeah, that's
adorable.
amazing.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's so cute.
it's been
Um,
great.
me,
Rain says, "Damn you, Kayla, for making me miss D&D."
Oh yeah.
so for me, it was I was on Split the Party TV's channel doing one of the
Yeah.
final charity games with him and with Matt, and I played a barbarian, not a very smart one, and
Classic.
people,
The best.
audience members, chat can gift items to
Oh,
party
sick.
members. Yeah, and it
Sick.
was really really cool. Like they gifted items. They had and the money went toward charity, and it was funny because me as a DM, I know what a sphere of annihilation is. I know what that is, but the character and me as actual player did not remember in the moment. So in the moment went, ooh,
Oh,
pretty
Wait,
shiny
that's
ball,
amazing.
and grab.
oh no.
Yeah, we all died. It was great.
That's badass.
It was so much fun, and but it was hilarious. It was one of those moments like you couldn't write it, like you couldn't write that moment. You couldn't like it. Just one of those. I literally forgot until I went, oh shit. Oh well, too late now. Let's lean into this.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta lean into it, right?
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
whole
yeah.
point.
Wow.
Yeah,
I bet it was so
just to,
exciting for the people watching the game and like the chat and stuff, like to have bought that item to have
The
got to
person
see
who
it be
bought
used
it,
like that.
the person who bought it, he was just like, I'm so sorry. I was like, you gave me the
yeah,
best,
This is
like the
what you
funnest
wanted.
game.
Yeah,
I'm so
exactly.
happy you did that. Thank you so
That's
much. And
so
he was like,
cool.
all
Oh
right,
my
cool.
god. I love
Yeah.
that. I love when TPKs
yeah,
happen like that.
It was
yeah,
ridiculous too. It was like I was like I got sucked into it. Like no, it was awesome.
Yeah. Wow, that's so cool.
yeah. That's incredible. The uh, the whole donate, chat, and affect the game scenario is just, I think it's one of my favorite things in terms of
Yes.
Mhm.
playing live. It's just
Mhm.
such a uh, great interaction with the chat,
Yeah.
but it's like it's off the chain, like, because
Yeah.
anytime anybody does anything, it could go anywhere, like, you don't know.
Yeah, right.
Um,
It is one of the best experiences. I am also in Castleton, on
mm,
Winter's Tales channel, which
yep.
is, if you don't know what Castleton is, for the, people in chat, Castleton is 150 plus player actual play. Yeah, so she is running. It's in its final season. It's been 2 seasons, and she is running 150 actual players on her channel. It's every Saturday, and it has been one of those amazing experiences. Like being in actual play has changed my perspective of D&D so much. It's been like one
Mhm.
of those. I was like, oh, this is actually fun. I
That's
don't have
good.
to do anything. Like because normally I'm the DM where I'm prepping and I'm thinking and I'm like trying to be like 2 steps ahead. Now I'm just
Mhm.
like I feel like exploding something, and that's what I'm going to do because that's what This sounds like a great idea, and I have an exploding candle. So we need to go through that hole, and that's what's going to happen.
Let the DM figure it
Chaos.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's not your problem.
exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
Have you ever played You Awaken in a Strange Place?
No, I
Because
have not.
I feel like, Sam, that would be, you would love that
I've heard that's cool.
system.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I've
I've
heard.
played it a
Yeah.
few times. I would play that every single day, and it's uh, the times that I played it. Sean from Help Action Needed was
Mhm.
the one
Oh
who
yes.
ran it, and I'll play
Mhm.
anything that Sean runs. But
Yeah.
the
Very
premise
true.
behind it is that you are making the entire thing up as you go, and like you can state things and make them new facts that affect the
Mhm.
gameplay as you
Oh
go,
my
and then the
god.
audience can.
Oh
So
my
we
god,
did
that sounds
that.
amazing.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
I gotta
And
talk to Sean because he's gonna be on the
yes,
channel too soon. I need to. Okay, thank you.
yep,
Yes,
yeah,
we're gonna be a chat with Sean later.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's
for
also in
sure.
Castleton. He's also in
Oh,
Yeah.
Castleton.
really? Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
Sean's in Castleton as well.
Yeah, Hampod Rain says it would take less than zero effort to get Sean to run it again.
Pretty much. Pretty
That is
much. Yeah.
accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds
he
Yeah.
about
loves
right.
that system.
That's fun.
He loves that
Checks.
system. But
Sean was
it's
also
just
at PAX Unplugged and did the Sour Challenge with me, and like
oh
Oh,
cool.
shot it across. I shot it across the room while he ate it like it was regular candy. You know.
wow. Impressive.
Yeah. Bunch of weirdos, all of them.
Weirdos are my favorite people.
Of course, we're all
Yeah,
bizarre bonkers. You know.
I
Mm-hmm.
love it. Yeah, yeah, it just lends itself. That system lends itself, especially for charity stuff too, because you're really affecting,
Yeah.
what's going on as it's coming in. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the the um, 2025 year. I know you don't like to look ahead. What do you've got? What do you percolating like right now? I know you've got some stuff that has kind of started. um,
Yeah. We just came out of a 24-hour fundraising stream for Trans Empowerment Project, which was hosted by Proxy and the team of If Found Dead, Please Revivify. They did a similar 24-hour fundraising stream last year. I think for Doctors Without Borders, if that's correct. I'm not sure. But anyways, yeah, and that was really successful. So that was really fun. So I was able to kind of be there as a official like TEP volunteer and kind of like share resources with them. And it was really cool to bring in other TEP volunteers like Rain and some of the other people that we work with to help behind the scenes as well. And then now a lot of us have just jumped into the month-long Doctors
Yeah.
Without Borders charity stream part 2 from Run DMG, which he
Yeah.
hosted last year. I was on the outside
Yeah.
of that last year, and there were so many cool incentives, and I just
Yeah.
bought so many cool things that were super exciting. So it's kind of fun to be part of it again. We're trying to take down Jordan Brown, who
Yeah.
is running unopposed on his own team by himself. And he's using his fame and his clout to raise more
Because
money than our teams, and we're not going to let it happen. So we're going to make sure that that Doom doesn't win. But like
what team
before,
color are you on?
I'm on green. Go green
Okay.
team, just nicely.
Red.
we got Christmas
Red.
colors going on in here.
Yeah, so I just want to keep kind of doing this all year. You know, like I was saying earlier in the show, I don't really know the future of our podcast as far as like existing on a podcast anymore. I did 90% of the work anyways, so it's not really changing much for me at this point. But I want to keep just being involved in people's games and projects, and especially the things that have to do with charity in the TTRPG space. So I'm kind of hoping to just keep doing them and like kind of learn as you go, and then it'll be easier and easier each time to like kind of get in there and like, this is how I can help, this is what I know, this is what I can offer. So I kind of hope to just keep doing that, honestly.
Nice, yeah. Black team is in the house apparently. That's what.
Red
Hey,
team. You know what? Hold on a second. I need somebody.
we got everybody but white team.
Like, we need
Doesn't
red
matter.
team. I
We're
need red
calling
team
in
in here.
recruits. Yeah,
I'm
I
calling it back up.
yeah, I actually somehow missed it this year. I don't know, so I'm looking to see if I can jump on a stream or whatever to offer some support.
I think there's
But
still time. I think they'll still throw you in. I don't know if like the streams will get filled up, but I think there's still room to like participate.
Yeah. Okay. I'll reach out to him.
Yeah.
We worked with him when we did Take This, which same kind of thing. We had heard Take This was going to go under or was in danger of basically shutting down a lot of their funding, and so we did a small stream and. Yeah, he helped out with that basically because I was like, listen, remember that big fundraiser you ran?
I mean,
you help,
we were talking behind
Luna
the scenes earlier, but God, talk about running a fundraiser. I mean,
Oh my
what Rain and I
God.
did this summer was nothing compared to what Ryan was managing. And
Right.
And
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
doing
it's
it so
wild.
well. He's like so organized.
Yeah, it's wild. But yeah, I also like to buy a bunch of those little perks in the. There's so many good
It's
ones in there.
fun. There's so
Yeah.
much fun stuff. I actually
It's fun.
like I became mutuals with Jordan through the last one because one of his incentives was that he would do a like profile shout out for you. And it kind of took him a while to like have the time to do it, but once he did, you know, he gave me a really authentic and really great shout out, and we got a ton of followers from it and like really good engagement from him and like his followers and
See,
stuff.
this is a problem
And it was
because
awesome.
that's so cool. And then, you know, that makes you want to go over there and go like, okay, you know what? That's a cool idea. But I
Yeah.
don't want to give him my money. I want to give my
No.
team my money.
Yeah,
That's
he's
not
not doing that again this year.
good.
He's just doing the critical kindness game, I think, as far as like fundraising goes.
Rude.
But I kind of took that idea from him for incentives for potions potpourri this year, where I was offering something similar for people at a lower price tier. I think it was great. Like, it's a good way to
Yeah.
share the love among the
Yeah.
community and just say like, hey, like I think this person's profile is really cool. Like, here's why. Like, go check them out. You know, and it's
Yeah.
for charity, so yeah, it was cool. But yeah, we're gonna take Jordan down. You're going down, Jordan. I'm fully leaning into the blasting Jordan publicly. Hey everybody, if you want to donate to our charity, the green team incentive is that if we
Red.
reach $500, I will
Red.
publicly blast Jordan Brown on the internet. So if you want to see me put him in the hot seat for a little bit and make fun of him, then give us $500.
I'm starting to get an idea here, and I'm okay. Guess what's
I love it.
Okay, I'm not saying a word.
I'm gonna roast him
I'm gonna run it by
publicly.
Yeah, that's okay. I got an idea, but that's
We
okay.
got some inspiration going on right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fired up, yeah, for sure. Yeah. So the same question.
All right. So
do you have anything that you're fired up about, like that's coming up soon?
So I have so much on my plate. So
Sam's got a big project.
Yeah, huge projects. The first one is the DM tag team that I am now. It's also a fundraiser. I am now in the process of opening the Discord to get all those DMs that said yes to me. Into the Discord and start some scheduling to happen. I am also in the process of writing the event submission to a couple of conventions, and hopefully one of them picks it up for the final game, which would be awesome. And Kayla's you're in the DM tag team as one of the mods because help me.
Gonna do my best, I promise.
Yeah. So that's one of the big things. So it's gonna be pretty much the premises is that I write a one shot. I know the one shot. My mods know the one shot. The players know some of the one shot, but the DMs are going in relatively blind. They know the BBG. They know a couple of NPCs. They know the premise of the game and the theme. They get 2 hours to run their table, and once that 2 hours is up, they have to stop. It doesn't matter if they're in the middle of a battle. It doesn't matter if they're in the middle of a scene. They have to stop, raid out to the next DM. They have 5 minutes to explain what they did in the 2 hours, and the next DM has to pick up where they left off.
Oh, that's wild! I love that.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm excited to see what happens and what these really, really experienced DMs do. And it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a level 10 because I think that's like a nice, good, sweet spot to make it at. And I'm excited to see what's happening with that one. So that's one thing that's gonna happen. The other thing.
And what's that fundraiser for?
So we haven't decided yet. So it's either going to be for Starlight Foundation, or depending on which con picks it up. So it'll be Starlight Foundation for the first few DMs, and then the final stop working. Then the final charity is whatever the convention charity is, because a lot of conventions support one charity for the year. So it'll probably be that. If it's Gen Con, whatever Gen Con picks up, if it's PAX U, whatever they pick up. So we'll see what happens. And I'm excited for that, but Starlight Foundation does some amazing things for kids with cancer, and I'm excited to make that happen. The other thing I'm hoping to do is the new show Classic 20, which is an actual play that I run on my channel once a month, where the very first show is going to be guest DM. After that, I will be DMing, and it's just an actual play in my homebrew world at level 20.
Nice. Tell us about your homebrew world. That sounds like something you should do.
Yeah, I have not seen an actual play at level 20 ever.
Let's
and I want to see what happens. If you start at level 20, like what like I want to see what's gonna happen because people are like,
That's so cool.
unlimited power.
Give me all of it.
Give me the epicness, So, but yeah,
Yeah.
so my homebrew world is set in New York City in modern day times where magic exists. All the creatures in D&D that exist in fantasy world exist in New York City, which I think is hilarious. Um, because all I can imagine is like a gnome walking down the street going, "I'm walking here," I think that's the funniest thing in the world to me.
Yeah. I
So
think
that's
that
my
kind of
homebrew world.
happens already.
Exactly,
In New
or
York.
like a giant like getting stopped by NYPD because like they know that giants aren't allowed in the subway system. Why are you trying to go down there? Um,
Yeah.
So I think that's hilarious. So, but yeah, that's my open world. And then the other show that is kind of brewing it's on the I guess drawing table. I guess would be is a
Sure.
D&D mental health show um,
Mm.
with the DIY Witch and Aurora, and we're still
Nice.
trying to work out the kinks. Don't know when that's going to start yet, but I'm super excited for those three. Like,
Yeah, that's
it's a
amazing.
lot. It's a
I'm
lot.
writing a D&D mental health uh,
Yeah,
TTRPG right now. Not D&D, a
that sounds
TTRPG.
amazing.
Yeah.
That sounds
Oh, that's
amazing.
fun.
That sounds
That's
fun.
Yeah,
cool.
it's
Yeah.
one of the 75 projects though. So when I wrote
Yeah.
down at the end of the year, I did this whole thing where at the solstice, I wrote down one item for like every day essentially, so that every day
Mm,
from the solstice until the end of the year, so like the 21st until the end of the year,
yeah, yeah.
10, the 10 days or whatever, I would, and I, you write it down, you fold it up, um, and then I would burn it so that like, okay, this is burnt into the existence now. It's going to happen. But the very last one that I open is the one that I have to focus on first. Like, so it's,
Mm.
Oh shit.
so getting me organized or whatever. So it is not the one that I open
Cool.
first. It's something else. But yeah, but I
That's
think
cool. I
that,
like that idea.
yeah, it's cool. And then, it allows I've been doing this for a little bit, but it allows the, um, pressure. I think it takes the pressure off, and
Mm.
for like I'm pretty spiritual in general, just pagan spiritual, and so for me like very witchy, and so like I like to utilize that kind of energy to to
Mm-hmm.
help my ADD in a lot of times.
Oh, I love ADD. ADD is amazing.
Yeah,
It does that thing where like your brain stops working and it just starts up again just for no reason. That's
yeah,
always fun.
yeah, exactly. I know. Yeah, it's I found out I was ADD when I found out my kids were ADHD. It
Oh,
was
then
like
yeah, late
yeah, yeah.
That
diagnosis is
makes
fun
sense.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's how it
It's
works.
got to come
So,
from somewhere.
I'm
yeah,
always fascinated by late diagnosis because a lot of times doctors like, yeah, I'm not sure, and then
Mm-hmm.
you find a physician's like, not only do you have ADHD, but you're autistic, so that
Yeah,
explains a lot.
that
You're
explains
like,
everything,
yeah,
actually.
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Oh crap.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
No, there's so much of that out there, and I think too like there's so many creatives that kind of just get lost because like
Mm.
there's so much crossover in that regard.
Oh God,
With
yes. There's so much crossover, and the funny thing is that we tend to get lost because it's so easy for our minds to be all over the place with so many ideas, and
yep,
unless someone is actually helping us or we're reaching out for help, we have a tendency to like get lost in the sauce, and then things drop off, and all of a sudden that great creator is gone.
yeah,
Excuse me, because
yeah.
I don't
You need
have
to get
water.
your water.
I do have a halls, so we're gonna do a
Yeah,
halls.
that's all
I'm
right.
about to
If you
stop.
need to grab some water, go grab some water. We're good.
Yeah, I'm not going downstairs. I refuse to go downstairs. I'm not going downstairs. I refuse. I have water here somewhere. I have water. So there.
This is such a funny example of the ADD
Right? It
strike.
was like
Oh
on
man.
cue. It was like
I
I choreographed that
It
entire
was.
scene.
It was.
I know what I'm total professional.
I've
So
just as like a little tangent, I've like accidentally like partially not I won't say diagnosed. I've like accidentally like suggested diagnoses for some of my friends that I've learned that they've had like ADD or ADHD. I was talking to
Yeah.
a friend one time, and she's like, you know that thing where like you get really into something and you're like super focused on it, you like forget to eat or drink like all day, and then you like feel really sick. And I was like, no, I don't. That doesn't happen to me. I was like, do you know who that happens to though? People with ADHD.
Yeah.
She just looked at me and she was like, what? She was like,
Yeah.
that's not a normal thing. And I was like,
No.
no, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No, that's
And then
not.
she
That's
texted
not
me like a
thing.
week later and she was like, so my doctor says I have ADHD. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
There has been so many times
Yeah.
where I've been in either in front of a computer or I've been like doing whatever. I'll be doing
Yeah.
something, and I'll look up and it's been like 9 hours with no
Mhm.
food or water, and also
Oh
like,
yeah.
what the? Oh my
Mhm.
god! Yeah,
I
Yep.
mean, it is
And then
kind
all of
it
a
is
sudden
kind
you're
of a
like,
bummer, you guys. Like, I feel for y'all so bad. Like, it's such a scary way to exist sometimes, you know?
I
You
mean,
literally like
it's so
can't
weird because you think
think
that
of it,
everyone.
you know?
Yeah, that's true. But you also think that
Yeah.
everyone's like that, so you don't
Yeah.
know that something's wrong. Like
Yeah.
legitimately, like your friend, you like. She's like, "What do you mean you don't do that,
Yeah.
honey?
Yeah.
No, that's not a
Mhm.
thing. That's a
Mhm.
that's a
It's a thing
ADHD,
for certain people,
but
yeah.
not everyone,
Mhm.
hon. Like, huh?" And
Yeah.
the thing
Mhm.
is, like, she's probably genuinely confused. Like, she
Yeah.
honestly probably thought everyone did this.
I know. I felt
Yeah.
so bad about it. I was like, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to be the
Yeah.
person to tell you this, but
But
Well, and there's a
you
lot
yeah.
of like
but
It might
misinformation out
help
there too.
explain some things. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know,
Like,
the other thing I was
no, go
super
ahead.
excited about was that oh so initially I was like I'm only gonna do like 3 cons in 2025. That has changed
Are you
significantly.
sure? How many are you on now?
Well,
I am
yeah, what did
currently
you
on
do last year?
5.
What
I
was your number
did
last year?
last year was 8.
And you started
Um
like in the summer. You started like late in the year.
I started late in the year, which was
And
so
you did 8, so yeah.
I did 8. Yeah, I did Brooklyn Comic Con, Long Island Tabletop, Gen Con, um PAX Australia, New York City Comic Con, uh anime something or something in New Jersey. I can't remember what it is because that was weird and oddly never going back there again. And so I did 7. And
Wow.
PAX Unplugged, so it's 7.
Hmm.
And then
Yeah.
I met Smoking Glue Guns,
Mhm.
Whitney,
Yeah.
and awesome person, awesome creator, awesome
Mhm.
like artist.
Their dice are incredible.
The dice are
Yeah, for sure.
so gorgeous.
I haven't wait, where is it? Where did it
I have
You guys have one too?
I have
Oh, that's so cool.
it's
Oh my
so
Do you
god.
have
gorgeous.
the egg? I have the egg
Yeah.
with the chicken
I didn't
inside.
get the
Oh, I
egg.
love the
I
egg.
didn't get the
It's
egg.
a little
That's
chicken
Um,
awesome.
but
That's so
yeah,
cute.
ask me
It's
how
so
many
cute.
cons Whitney did.
Oh
How
yeah.
many?
Well,
Yeah, 20 something,
yeah. But that's
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 a
28.
light.
hustle.
That's work. Yeah, that's work for
Yeah,
them. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But I was complaining about my 7 until
Yeah.
until she was on the channel. Then I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
She's
Well,
like,
I'm
hold
gonna
my
shut up
beer.
now.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was like. Really, you did 7?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
She's
cute.
like,
7.
oh,
That's
that's
cute.
adorable.
Double it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
actually.
Then she pulls out a map where you show her, like she shows a car
Oh
going
my
back and forth. I was
gosh.
just like, oh my god, I'm gonna
That's
shut up
cool
now.
though. That's really cool.
It's so cool. So this year I'm doing Gary Con, uh,
Oh.
C2E2, um, Gen Con, obviously. Trying to do Dragon Con. I'm trying to do PAX East.
That's on my list
Doing
too of
PAX
trying to do.
Australia. I want to do Dragon Con. And I also want to do Magicon. And there's another one I can't remember, but we'll see. And I want to do San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
So,
San
but
Diego seems
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
cool.
yeah, we'll see
GaryCon
what
is the
happens.
one that we always get invited to. A lot of our friends from like the Voctair and stuff go to that.
Mm-hmm.
Our problem is, so I'm based in Montana, and there's
Oh,
nothing. You have to go south, pretty far south, along the west coast to get to any big ones, and then you have to go all the way to the other side of the country to get to any of the major ones.
yeah,
So transportation is expensive. It just adds up too much. And
Yeah.
for me in March, it's almost impossible to get time off because I'm always out snowboarding and taking a
yeah.
ski trip around that time. So then I'm like, I'm not going to spend $500 to go to a con.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend $500 to go snowboarding instead.
I mean, look,
Yeah.
I
I was
thought I
gonna
could
go in
get
the
away.
summer, but then the schedules don't really line up. It's just been a whole thing for us. Like we've
Yeah,
been
yeah.
invited to so many, but I'm like, I mean, if you can like get me there, sure. I
Yeah.
can't just drive, it's so far.
It's. I thought so. I thought the same thing. I was like, I don't need to go to cons. No one needs to go to cons. I can go to cons if I feel like going to con. Then I
Mhm.
realized like I needed in order to like grow this whole thing that I need to like do that whole networking thing. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I met
it's
some
a great
amazing people.
opportunity.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
met some
exactly.
amazing people like just off of regular, just like, oh my god, you guys are so sweet. I can't handle it.
I know that's why I want to go. It's just to meet the people and like
It's
play
Yeah.
so good.
games with and meet my friends in person and all of that would be really
Yeah,
cool. Yeah, maybe one day. Maybe I'll set my sights on something next fall where I can plan a little bit more.
packs you.
Um,
Just saying.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Sick.
I was just
Pax
gonna
you.
say that if you're gonna pick one, that's what I would do too, PAX U,
That's
because
the one. Packs
it's
you.
just a completely different vibe
Yeah.
than
Hmm.
all of the other ones, because the goal really is for creators to hang out and
Yeah.
meet each other
Yeah.
and hey, let's go over here and grab lunch or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right.
yeah, it was really nice for me to to just have to get those in person interactions with people that like I
Mm-hmm.
didn't even know over a year ago. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
started playing um, in October of 23 was my
Mm.
first ever, and I accidentally started streaming because it was like
I
I
love that.
yeah, I like answered Johnny Talking XP posted that he was going to do a Candela game, and I was like, oh shit, yeah,
Mm.
I want in on that. And he was like, I'm going to stream it. Is that okay? And I was like, yes? Question
Yeah.
mark. And
Okay.
here
Yes.
yeah, yeah, and here I am now. I'm just like, who needs a player? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I overbooked
Sure.
myself so much last year because like I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. Like, just the
Yeah.
whole yeah, and the community is a lot to that, but you get that. I think that's where you at PAX. That's what you do. What you see
Yeah.
is
One hundred
Mm-hmm.
percent. One hundred
yeah,
percent.
all of those people just kind of come in together, and there's like a standard spot that everybody goes back to every night and
Every
stuff, and
night it's just like
yeah,
we scare the locals at the Marriott
yeah,
bar. It's amazing. It's hilarious. You could see like
yeah,
people coming in and out the hotel going, "But why is there people with horns on? I don't understand." You know, and every once in a while, like, guys, you're scaring the locals.
I
It's
love
great.
that.
But and
yeah,
it's also like you said, it's very much a different beast from say Gen Con. Like Gen Con
Good
yeah,
to know.
is a marathon of schmoozing and
Mm,
networking and
yeah,
panels.
that
It's just a
sounds.
lot to be like. So I don't recommend that be your first con. Please don't do that. you
yeah.
know.
Or go and
Yeah, my
just
first.
not work the con. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
don't
just
work. Yeah,
go
That's
and
probably. I mean, I wouldn't work
yeah,
anyways. I don't really have
no.
any a product to sell. But I went to a con when I was like 16 or 17. I'm from
Hmm.
Texas originally, so Austin had this big anime convention called IkiCon.
Hmm.
Um,
that's a
and
great
so I
name.
got a taste of the con experience when I was younger, and it was so fun. But different experience than like a gaming convention, I think for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely a different crowd at
Yeah,
an anime convention.
It's very much different crowd. Like
yeah.
Gen
So,
I
Con's
just
like
did
everything. Gen Con's everything.
yeah.
Packs
mhm.
Unplugged is the TTRPG content creator space
Yeah, I'd be much
afterward.
more interested in that. Yeah,
Yeah,
well, I'll
yeah, yeah.
look into it. Maybe I'll see some people
It's
there.
come on. It's in December. You have a whole year,
Yeah.
Okay.
like a
Look, if you
whole
plan it
long
right,
year.
you can probably find some place you can go snowboarding.
Oh,
That's
God,
right.
exactly,
That's true.
exactly. I'm just
December's
saying.
easy. That's easy to manage as a
Yeah.
trip. It's like midwinter when things are really good that you don't want to go like to the south.
To the
So,
south.
Let's come on.
yeah.
It's fun. Also, like it's the East Coast. Like anything could
Hmm.
happen. Blizzard, snowstorm.
That's right.
Right.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Exactly. Exactly. Uh, on that note, we're kind of coming up on our hour. So, is there anything as we kind of sign off that you want to tell people about that you didn't tell people about, or mention? Any kind of anything coming up, anything past that you want to shout out anybody, and then after that,
Um,
we'll do the kind of sign offs and stuff.
I'm kind of on a mission to get as many people as I can to watch Castleton.
Okay.
Um, because Castleton
For
is such a huge undertaking, and um, it has been an experience that I am very, very grateful for, but also like excited because it's one of my real first. I've been in other actual plays, but this is like really where I get to flex, like the whole improv thing that Kayla and I did off stream and everything. Like it's like I got to actually like use all those like tools that I learned from there. So it's fun. I like it. I'm enjoying myself, and check out Castle. Go to Winter Sales. Check out Castle.
I love that. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of people involved with that and a lot of effort being
It's a
put into
lot.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. For sure.
I'm glad to
Kayla.
hear that was something that you were able to utilize the
Yeah.
improv thing. That's great.
It was so.
Um,
I was like, I know what to do.
I
Tell
like that so
tell the
much.
folks at home what that's all about.
We
I like
uh we
Kayla do
just
it.
ran we just ran a little off stream like improv class. Me and Aaron from Even Footing Games, we have this book, The Improv for Gamers, from Karen 12's Evil Hat. And I'd always wanted this, and so when I finally bought it for myself, Aaron suggested that we run a little like just improv class from stuff from the book, and so we did it off stream, and Sam was there. And it's something that I think we want to try again. It's something I've actually been thinking about doing, like incorporating it into the fundraising things. You know, like maybe it's a string that we can do to raise money and stuff. Um, yeah, so it's just like a loose idea. It's something I actually have developed, but it was really fun, and so
It
we
was
got to just
so
kind of
much
practice some
fun.
stuff together. And since I want to be on more people's like actual plays and stuff anyways, it's something I've been trying to work on. I'm an ex theater kid. I grew up doing theater all through middle school and high school, but ironically it's like not something that permeated well enough into me, so I feel like I'm having to like relearn a lot of it. So stuff like that has been really helpful. um but nothing that I didn't already mention. I mean, go, if you're seeing this now or in any part of January, go find me and Sam raising money for Doctors Without Borders, the Run BMG fundraiser. Green team if you're cool, red team if you're
Red,
not.
red team, red
Anything.
team. Christmas is over. Valentine's is coming. Red team,
Uh-huh,
red
uh-huh.
team.
Anything that we can do to take down Dr. Doom himself, Jordan Brown,
Yes, yes.
that would help us out a lot. So he's already raised $10,000.
Whew.
So he's
Oh
crushing
yeah.
us.
Okay.
That's
Okay. I know
that's
what to do.
amazing.
I have an amazing idea right now. I know exactly
Good.
what to
I'm
do.
glad to hear it. I'm
I
glad
love
to
it.
hear it.
I love it. All right, well, let people know where they can find you, and yeah, and make sure you give those links and that kind of stuff. Say who you are, where they can find you, just in case they came in late and they missed the beginning
Yeah.
of this amazingness.
Okay.
Sure. Oh, actually, just want to let you know that my link has Kayla's name on the end of it, so it's not gonna work.
What?
That's
Oh
awesome.
my goodness!
I
I
didn't
must have been.
realize that. That's all.
I
It
didn't realize
does,
that
GM
either.
Kayla.
Listen, all three of us looked at
We're
that.
one now. We're one now, Sam.
We
We're
are
just one
one.
You
We
person.
are
are one.
we are melded now. We are together. It's
Yeah.
Yeah. That.
Just
Oh my
combine the
gosh.
shows together.
Listen, I'm gonna put it in there again, and we'll go. Yeah. we
I
came
didn't
into
even
this
know. I
today.
literally didn't notice until I looked. I
I
was
didn't
like,
either. I
oh,
know. We came into this today saying it's been a week.
yeah.
Yeah, no
It's
joke.
been such a week.
There
Yeah.
we go.
Well, you go ahead, Sam.
Um, I, I'm ClassicSamNYGM. You can find me in all social media platforms, even on Twitter. It is still Twitter, despite the little man calling it X. It's Twitter, and
Come
you can
to Blue
find me.
Sky.
Go to Blue Sky. It's so much nicer over there. Like everyone's so sweet and nice, and like, this it's just vibes. It's vibes. Blue Sky. Anyway, that being said, not sponsored. Uh, but you can find me Classic NYG everywhere on all social media platforms. If you want to see some amazing content creators and chat with them and see some really really good interviews like I did with Kayla, um, check out my YouTube channel, ClassicSamNYGM. Or if you want to see them live, you can follow me on Twitch as well. And you can find out when those are happening on my Instagram or Blue Sky. And you can catch some really, really good clips on TikTok.
For now.
For now, I know TikTok's going
Right.
away. So
We'll
listen,
see.
Can you
Reels,
download that
YouTube
stuff?
Shorts.
Mm-hmm.
You can download your stuff. It takes forever to download
Mm-hmm.
all your videos off of TikTok. It doesn't do it in one shot. It does it like
Yeah. And
video
you're
by
limited by
video.
Instagram anyways, by the
Yeah,
lengths anyways, so
yeah.
thanks, Sam. I will go now.
Yeah.
I I'm Kayla. I'm usually from the Potions and Potpourri podcast. You can find us only on Instagram and TikTok and X under Potions and Potpourri. I am feeling the pressure of getting other social media accounts right now, especially with losing TikTok and with X being so terrible. I don't use X anyways.
Twitter.
But I just don't have the spoons to
Yeah.
manage other social media accounts. And I was like very convinced that Threads was not going to take off and that all these other ones were not going to take off. But now that they have, I'm like, well, fuck. Now I'm not on them. But I'm like, no, don't do it. Just don't do it. So
Do it.
Do it.
Instagram and TikTok is our primary while TikTok still exists. I put different content on both platforms typically, so you can find some different things across both. Otherwise, find us wherever you get your podcast and follow us to get more info on the games that I play in and the people I get to hang out with behind the scenes through the podcast name.
Amazing. And I thank both of you for hanging out with me tonight and having this great conversation.
Thank you.
I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it so much. And thanks for patience in doing the reschedule and all of that.
Thank
It's
you.
Totally okay.
yeah, yeah. As
I
we
get it.
say, life first. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I
I
Yeah,
get
appreciate
it.
that.
yeah.
I get it.
Thank you to the chat for hanging out with us. And if you're watching this on
Yeah.
VOD, we appreciate that so much. Every little bit helps. And we'll catch you next time. I am Shannon, and we'll catch you next time on Creator Spotlight.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks again, Shannon.
Thank you, Shannon.